Hi, my name is Mark Polton. I'm a real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm what you would call a no frills, no thrills real estate investor. If you're looking for someone with a fancy car in the background, nice studio office, or even someone who's trying to sell you a $19.95 a month subscription to their newsletter, I'm not that guy. Go check out a different channel. So I was listening to a podcast or an audio book, or I don't know, and might have been Dave Ramsey, and the speaker brought up the fact that you are where you deserve to be, and couldn't agree with him more. You know, it took me a while. Actually, it took me many whiles to figure out that I'm where I'm supposed to be right now, and you are too. If you were supposed to be someplace else, you would be someplace else. If you were supposed to have more, you would have more. But you're where you're supposed to be because that's where you're at. You're where you deserve to be because that's where you're at. Now, a lot of people would think that that's a very negative attitude, or that that's a self-defeating attitude, or it's white privilege, male patriarchy, toxic masculinity, blah 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 blah. It's not. What it is the realization that your thoughts, processes, and actions have 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 brought you to the culmination of where you are today, and it's actually should be liberating for you. So it was liberating for me. And what that means is, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to be better. You're going to have to do more to get to where you want to be. Because if you were supposed to be there, you would be there. If I was supposed to have a $5 million net worth, I would have a $5 million net worth. Probably not too far from it. Maybe a couple years. But I don't have a $5 million net worth right now. But that's where I'm supposed to be. That doesn't mean I stop working. That doesn't mean that I stop trying. That doesn't mean I stop improving. Just spent a few hours at one of my properties. I'm sweating really bad, because it's got 10 years of growth in the yard that nobody ever took care of, and it's a lot of work. I mean, these trees and bushes are just unbelievably overgrown, but the work's got to get done, and it may take me 8 weeks in spare time to get this thing under control. But at the end of 8 weeks, it's going to look pretty good. Grass will start to grow, and it'll start to look like a house maybe somebody will want to live in. So, how do you get from where you are, where you deserve, where I mean, you deserve, you are where what you deserve. You don't deserve more than what you have. So how do you go to more? How do you go to better? Well, one, work. Get out there and do the work. I'm a big fan of baby steps are still steps. Even if I can only do an hour and a half, 2 hours of work on my business or a property, that's still 2 hours towards success that I otherwise wouldn't have. Read books, become more efficient. I listen to tons of audiobooks, and I do it while I'm in the car, while I'm in the shower, while I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm doing my laundry, while I'm folding my laundry, while I'm making my bed, while I'm waiting on my kids at gymnastics, while I'm watching the girls play volleyball, while I'm doing whatever. I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm listening to real estate YouTube videos. I am improving. I'm constantly thinking about my business and how I can improve it. Um, can't even tell you what a wealth of information YouTube is. You really have no excuse. There is so much information. There's a lot of bad information, but Phil Bustiowski, I probably butchered him. Great channel. Gonna learn some stuff there. Clayton Morris at Morris Invest. Great channel. Listen to his podcast all the time. Um, you can even go to I think his name's Graham Stephen. He doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of information on there, but he still has good information. So, check it out. And don't necessarily be all about the flashy guy. I, when I watch these different monetized YouTube channels, this guy comes on and he's kind of a skinny, tall, young guy, and he's holding 60 grand in cash, and he goes, "Do you know what this is? This is 60,000 in cash. That's the average you make on a flip." What he doesn't tell you is that you got to pay capital gains on that. And so, it may be 60 grand is what you make on a flip, but that's not what you get after taxes. So, don't necessarily go for those guys. Um, Joe Bond or something like that, some investment guy. You have all these guys that have fancy channels and they have fancy books and they have fancy cars in the background. And, I'm sure that they have good information. But for the most part, they're trying to make money off of you. They're trying to sell you something. My favorite, and I know it's a little off topic is six pack shortcut or whatever it is. That guy, I used to follow him when I was really into lifting. And really, you know, you could probably in 4 channels tell somebody everything they need to know about fitness and how to get a six pack abs. But he's trying to give you the X factor and sell you something, and you're just like, whatever, man. It's just a little bit ridiculous. I give away my content. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm actually don't really care if you take it and use it, but it's out there, and it's actually good advice, and it's good tried advice from somebody who just purchased our 12th home. Anyways, so always keep in mind that you're where you are supposed to be because that's where you're at. If your wife is leaving you, if your kids hate you, if you got a crappy job, that's where you're supposed to be. That doesn't mean that that's where you're supposed to be in the future. That's where you're supposed to be right now. It's also where you deserve to be. So if you want something better and you want something more, become deserving of something more. And then you'll get what you deserve then. So keeping that in mind, I hope you go out there and live the you won't stop me lifestyle. I tell you this, you will not stop me. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. You're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna be financially free, which is actually not that far away. My wife is close to retiring due to the business. We're probably going to have truck trying to take me out. We're pretty close to figuring out. We only need about 10 or 12 more homes, and then I can retire. And that may seem like a lot to you. Doesn't seem like a lot to me. Do the work, do the baby steps. I wish you success.